My little baby Chevron Grape Vape asked for a 10-pound bag of Twizzlers this morning while he was watching, what was it? I don't pay attention because I don't really like it. Coco Melon! But that was on one iPad. So I bought him another iPad to watch Edutainment on. Say yes! Say yay! Chevron Grape Vape!
I do not limit my kids' screen time. They can have as much screen time as they want. Guess what? Them tablets are going to teach my kids better than I can.
So the only form of dopamine these kids are receiving is from an iPad screen and not from, I don't know, going and playing with Bazza down the end of the road. Maybe being a parent and taking them away from the iPad for a couple of hours to live in the real world. I mean, it's quite sad that the kids have to go on TikTok and have brain rot teach them about life and not you, their literal parent.
Number 2, I get my kids candy every time I go to the store. So I get something every time I go to the store too.
I am personally not opposed to children eating candy as they need to learn how to have a healthy relationship with food. If the kids can't ever have a Hershey's bar on the weekend and you teach them that it's a really bad food, then the chances of them secretly indulging in these foods increases. And whenever the kid leaves the house, they'll just have 10 Hershey's bar, not one, because they don't know self-control. But then it starts a really toxic cycle of the child once again secretly indulging in these foods. Then they start to feel really bad about themselves and feel like they've done something reprehensible. However, constantly giving in to these kids' requests is not the best thing to do either. Sometimes saying no is good, because what you're basically saying here is that yes, mum abandons herself, which means you can and should too. And it's not necessarily about how one's body looks, because crazy thing, medical conditions exist, trauma exists, but rather bringing a child up in this fashion can and will set them up for failure. And I get it, it's not that easy to just give up bad habits. This is coming from a binger, an ex-smoker, somebody who used to drink every single night. I'm no saint either. I'm not talking as if I'm Mother Mary, but the kids matter the most. Help them become the best little humans they possibly can be.
Number 3, I let my kids have sweets in the morning before school.
I mean, for all we know, it could be just a little sherbet lolly every now and then, but maybe it could also be an entire bag of Twizzlers every single morning before school, in which case that is obviously bad. As an adult, do you? You're grown enough to understand what you are putting inside of your body. The kids, unfortunately, just don't have that kind of knowledge, and in a society where they are taught that existing in a bigger body is a terrible thing, to me it isn't. But make a TikTok account and listen to a Leo Skeppy video and people are absolutely awful towards those who exist in bigger bodies. Because a lot of the time people just think, oh my god, they're gorging themselves to death, they're just fat lazy pricks. There is a lot more nuance to the conversation. The problem comes from the fact that you are teaching your kids very bad habits to get into, and on top of that, in the future, they just might resent you for it, and that is not a good thing. We want to try and steer very clear of that. It's just that, to me so far, it sounds a tad bit neglectful, like silky parenting. Where did this term even come from?
I do not monitor too much of what my kids watch. If my kids hear a cuss word, I'd rather they hear it at home with me than out there in the streets.
Okay, maybe my previous statement before has more fuel to it, because what do you mean you are not monitoring what your children are watching? How young are they? This is not something to be out here flexing. For all you know, your kids as idols could be kids like Jack Doherty, Andrew Tate, and idolizing his Hustlers University, and are consuming so much brain rot that it's literally rotting their brains. I will never agree with this idea that children should have unlimited, unmonitored access to the great big wide web, okay? Kids get groomed, kids watch things they shouldn't, kids do all sorts of things without being monitored on what they're doing. This honestly is all just sounding like, yeah, the idea of having kids sounded amazing, but actually parenting, no. Do it yourselves, okay? But what the hell is a silky mum? We've heard of crunchy mums and almond mums. I just don't understand why these millennials can't just be parents. Why does there have to be this thing added onto it?
We got silky mom, and that is what I would consider myself to be. Mom is a mom that is okay with modern medicine, such as using Tylenol, Advil when your kid has a fever or is just not feeling well. A silky mom is also okay with treats, such as things that may have dye in them, like fruit roll-ups, Pop-Tarts. We don't just feed our kids junk food all the time.
From what I've gathered at this length, it seems to be silky mums is a term defined by parents who aren't so hardcore about extreme beliefs, such as parents being okay with their kids getting the flu shot, parents being okay with the fact that their kid is eating a Hershey's bar, parents being okay with the fact that their children are playing with a plastic Barbie doll. But like a lot of labels, they get misplaced and misused. The amount of TikToks I saw from parents just blatantly neglecting their child in the name of silky parenting was tiresome, because being a parent isn't some TikTok trend. It's a real life responsibility that isn't really being taken all that seriously by some.
I also have plenty of fruits and veggies, and my kid chooses milk and water over pop any day. Now, some people say, well, that's a balance, junk food and fruit or veggies. And that is not necessarily the case. My fruit or veggies would not be organic or don't have to be organic. Sometimes I might pick organic by accident. A silky mom is also okay with plastic toys over wooden toys. We were okay with using formula, disposable diapers, and hospital birth would always have been the plan in our birthing plan.
Is that not just normal parenting? Or is the silky mum thing a response to the crunchy almond mums who promote quite the opposite of what silky mums do? Something that I take a lot of issue with is parents who will use these labels as an excuse to be a bad parent because it's just a parenting style. Don't criticize me, this is my shield. Again, parenting isn't a TikTok trend. You are quite literally supposed to be taking care of living, breathing human beings. They're not just accessories to pose with on social media. But speaking of parenting styles, the one that confuses me a lot are those parents who are so enthusiastically against childhood. For example, we know the sad beige parents to be those that force an aesthetic onto their kids because aesthetics matter more than their own offspring possessing a personality of their own. But let's talk about those parents who deny their children the essence of childhood.
I like you. Have a cupcake. I like you. Have a cupcake. I like you.
Why does the baby have to wear neutrals though? Why are we so against the cute little dinosaur pajamas? Do you know just how boring baby photos are going to be in 20 years time when little Jamesy boy turns 21 and the photos aren't going to be of James in his cute SpongeBob one piece that'll make everyone chuckle. It'll just be of sad beige baby James and the whole function goes quiet. Yes, happy birthday to James, but why was he such a sad baby? A literal child can't be caught out in his little Thomas the Tank Engine top or Jamesy boy in his little sister's Cinderella heels to go to the shops because it's 10 p.m. It's unaesthetic. It's not aesthetic. These kids are living lives lives through the lens of just aesthetics. These kids' entire lives are just focused around what looks good on mummy's Instagram page. One thing that you'll notice about these sad beige parents is it really just is all about aesthetics for them. It's not about their little chevron grape vape looking absolutely darling cuteness in poo green or beige. It really is all about what kind of Pinterest board style photos they can take.
How I feel about certain design choices with little to no explanation. Yes. Yes. Absolutely not. For me, this one's 50-50. 100% no. Yes, and I don't care that it's impractical.
Of course, the kids do look cute here, but why? Why do these babies need to look like mini adults? Where are the Cars printed little pants? Where have the little Piglet and Eeyore jackets gone? Why are y'all so against children looking like children? That's it though. It's purely for superficial purposes. If it doesn't look good enough for a social media photo, the kids aren't wearing it. But the kids don't have a personality yet. Yes, because you're not allowing them the space to be able to do that, are you? It's immediately come out the womb, get in those Insta aesthetic clothing, and make sure you don't complain about it, or I'm taking your wooden horsey and I'm giving you the Amazon box wooden horsey came in. How you like that? Sad beige baby. A lot of these sad beige aesthetic obsessed parents not only erase all proof of existence around the house because it can't be homey, like disgusting. Imagine being happy and being a cute, warm family. No, but we'll already take a fine and dandy toy, paint over it with toxic chemicals, and hand it to little baby Jamesy because aesthetics. Aesthetics over fun. Aesthetics over being a kid. At some point, these parents got to realize that not everything is about them and to just let their kid have a rainbow colored toy. I promise it's not going to hurt the Instagram feed.
Go ahead and call me crazy or a sad beige mom for what I'm about to do. Today, I'm giving this step 2, my first Christmas tree, a total makeover. I'm leaning into my inner Pinterest mom with the vision to neutralize the tree, and I can already hear you thinking that I'm going to ruin my toddler's Christmas by painting over these colors. I really think that she's a neutral girly at heart. After taking a good long look at the tree, I headed over to Lowe's where I picked out all of our spray paint colors. I originally wanted to paint the body of the tree a brown. I wanted to keep those white. Here's a little pro tip that I learned, or basically a rookie mistake that I made. And honestly, I'm so silly I didn't do this in the first place, but you'll definitely want to hang up the ornaments in order to spray paint them, not leaving them laying on the cardboard. Honestly, I love them. They are definitely giving organic, modern vibes. I might even go back in to add some little velvet ribbon bows along the hooks. I do need you guys' help. Should I paint the train or leave it as is?
So with all of that being said, everybody, what are your thoughts and opinions on this entire matter? It's getting really scary because I'll catch myself just going into a daze and thinking, wow, when I was a kid, and I don't mean to get like all old head here, but when I was a kid, I felt like it was one of the really last times that kids were able to be kids. And maybe this is just an online issue, but with the lack of child, tween, and teen third spaces, I mean, it really has to make you wonder, why exactly can't kids be kids anymore? I never see kids in actual kids clothing. When I'm out and about, kids are looking too proper, they're looking too put together, they're looking too aesthetic because everything comes back to social media and how the family looks for social media. Thank you for your stay at Yappersville today, everybody. I hope to see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves and most of all, love your fucking selves.